Welcome to INN CEO Talks. Joining me today is Karim Rayani, the CEO and Director of Falcon Gold, which trades on the TSX Venture under the symbol FG. Falcon Gold is a Canadian mineral exploration company focused on generating, acquiring, and exploring opportunities in the Americas. Karim, welcome. It's great to see you.
Thank you, Stuart, for the introduction.
You know, let's start by talking about some of your spin-out transactions between Falcon Gold and Latimark on the Esperanza project in Argentina.
So what we're doing is Falcon has always been a Canadian-focused issuer. We have a number of holdings in Ontario, BC, and Newfoundland. About a year back, we decided to step into the South America, Latin America market. The new company that we decided to create is Latimark for Latin America. And we have two projects. We got a project in Argentina. It was previously drilled by a Japanese agency, which is an extension of the Japanese government. Very high grade, 20, 30, 40 grams at surface. What we believe is we can high grade this on a small scale production basis. It's in a prolific mining town known for production, 20 kilometers southeast of a town called 20 kilometers southeast of a town called Chapez, which is in the Sierra Madres. And what the Japanese agency identified is a number of pods, and each pod was, this is a non-43101, about 20,000 ounces per pod. So what we're currently doing is validating all the historical workings. We've completed a new 43101, and now we're going through the spin-out process, separating this asset from Falcon and completing a plan of arrangement.
So that's looking very positive, but you are also still focused on your Canadian properties. Let's start in Ontario right now before we go to what, numerous projects that we have in Newfoundland, in Central Canada.
The Central Canada project is still our flagship. It's 230,000 ounces, historic resource, grading 10 grams. It's in a town called Agnico, which is 160 kilometers west of Thunder Bay. Hammond Reef's deposit, which is held by Agnico Eagle, is directly tied on to our ground. It's one of the largest deposits in Canada, 4.6 million ounces. And we have the largest land position surrounding that group of claims. Agnico Eagle's ground has been on care and maintenance for the last 10 years. There's been talks of them now getting ready to put that back into production. And what really got me excited about the Central Canada project is we're surrounded by 3-4 multi-million ounce deposits. We've got a lot of historic drilling. The history dates back to the 1930s on this project, where they started high grading it and then putting in a shaft down to 45, 50 feet. So the infrastructure was there, and then obviously the price of gold did its thing and it sat abandoned. But really, when you look at the geology, I mean, we're in the perfect ideal situation. We've got Agnico's mill, which is right next door. They're planning to put that into production. So when that happens, they're going to need high grade feed, and that's really where the Central Canada project kind of differs from their ground. Theirs is high tonnage, low grade. Ours is on a touch on the small side, but I believe that we're sitting on a multi-million ounce discovery here. We've currently done 2 rounds of drilling. We're about to start phase 3. There's been extensive flooding over the last few months, which has caused some delays, but we're almost there. And really, there's 230,000 ounces at the 200-meter level. We're now outstepping and going at a 45-degree angle. And if we're able to get some similar grades and widths at the 400-meter level, we've essentially just doubled the size of the deposit. Um, of paramount importance is for every hole that we drill, we can use a good percentage of the data that we get towards a current 43101. So, something that should take us many, many, many years. If we do this right, this will take us half the amount of time.
So that's an exciting project on its own, but you have 6 other projects in Newfoundland. Tell us what you've got going there.
So Newfoundland, right now, probably, the Central Canada project, it's a resource. Newfoundland is really elephant country. Newfound Gold, was trading at 50 cents, a few years ago, we hit a high of $13. Eric Sprott has, put in, a couple $100 million into Newfound Gold. So, the real excitement, for trying to find multiple discoveries is currently there. And, there's 3, 4, 5 companies having tremendous success. So we recognized early that we should be in Newfoundland, and we've tied onto a lot of large structures, earlier stage projects. But we're in the whole Brook camp, tied on to Benton-Sokoman. We have 1 million ounces to our northwest corner, and we have 1 million ounces just below us to the southeast. And there's there's quite an extensive structure that flows through our ground. So we believe that between 1 million ounces over here and 1 million ounces down, we have a system that flows through our property. What really differentiates Falcon is we have 100%. We don't have any NSRs. We did this on staking costs. So we're mobilizing crews right now. The whole property's been under snow the last few months, so we're finally able to get started there. We also have ground that is in the Baie Verte district, which all of Newfoundland's production comes out of this area. And for some reason, it just kind of went overlooked. So when we started looking, most guys were looking at a certain area, and we did the exact opposite. We went and studied the reports. Why was a property overlooked or dropped? And this is a nickel PGE system. The thing about Newfoundland is it's gold, it's Newfoundland. I mean, there's multi commodities that are currently being explored and found. And then we also have ground, that's closer to Marathon Gold. So I think that probably sums up most of the properties over there. We currently have about 130,000 hectares of land, which puts us in the top 3, 4, 5% of landholders.
You've got a lot going on. It wouldn't be unusual for an investor to ask, well, are you well funded? Are you able to keep moving forward on so many fronts?
The market has definitely been, taking a beating. The one thing about Falcon is we run on a very, a very low burn rate. Most of our properties don't have any property payments. So where other companies fail, we kind of succeed. I really try to structure these deals in such a way where it kind of sets us up for success and minimizes any risk. We're able to essentially put 90% of any funds that we receive into the ground. So in a short period of time, we've done quite a large amount of work. So to answer your question, we are funded. We could always use more money, but I'm also, dilution resistant. I only raise money when I have to, and a lot of the time I'm usually the lead order, and I'm really trying to protect the share capitalization, which is the main reason why we're doing the spin out of our holdings in Argentina. Is to really separate processes. The new company will operate and run that division, and therefore we don't need as much capital moving into the year.
Well, this is a really interesting time to be looking at Falcon Gold because you have so much on the go, And I know that viewers who are interested are going to say, okay, please come back in a couple of months and bring us further updates.
There's one other project I should touch on, because I think most of your viewers will probably remember the Sunny Boy and Spitfire project in BC. It's a high grade operation, 3.5 ounces at surface. It was high graded, in the early days, and it sat dormant in a family. So this is in around the West Haven camp. We're planning to get our permitting ready. I believe as well that we can also high grade this and do a bulk sample. I believe that there's roughly 100,000 ounces at surface essentially. But this could turn into a small scale production operation. So really where I see Falcon going moving forward is going after projects that are too small for the larger companies to take on. But we can essentially run 2-3 operations, generate $5-10 million per year per operation, and it makes us very profitable. So that's something that we've been looking more and more at as our main kind of a business model.
Which goes back to what I was saying. I think there's going to be more news coming from you as the months unfold, and I hope that you'll keep coming back and bringing us up to date.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Stuart. Talk soon.